Hello everybody, this is Frogman. Welcome back to FTB Skies. As you can see, I went ahead and I guess put things kind of somewhat back together from last time. I was totally not expecting all of that silliness to happen, and well, I guess if you guys didn't catch it, you should go back and watch the end of last episode. It's probably like the last 5 minutes of it where we somehow managed to teleport back with the Ender Dragon from the end, and it tried to destroy our base, or at least the modified Ender Dragon, whatever it is. So because of the fact we killed said Ender Dragon, we got all the stuff that comes with that thing. Where is it? So Trigon arises, three-headed monstrosity. Because we killed it, we got, well, some more little kind of stuff to include the Ender Dragon data model, which we probably need to... Whoop, I really got to quit holding that button. We probably need to go ahead and get that hooked up because we're going to need some stuff from it. Where are you? We're going to need some stuff from this later on. Mainly, I do believe we need a bunch of predictions, or at least for the power of creation on the end. I think this is like the last one. Where are we? Go back down here to overpowered. I do believe it's the last one. They want 256 of those, which is not ungodly considering the fact that they gave us the thing and we got to go kill him again. I think the biggest one about that one is that's going to be the thing that sucks, but we can start working on that any single time, plus maybe some of this other stuff. I don't know. We'll find out. This is one of those deals where you get to the end of the game and they're going to hand you the cheaty disc of storing all of the things. I do believe this is pretty much everything you can have in the game in one disc, and it is for, gosh darn it, why do you keep doing that? For RS, so refined storage. By the time you get to that point, who the heck cares? Because the game's over. Essentially, if you get all the way down to here, you've probably touched just about everything you need to do, so it doesn't really matter which one you're going to be putting on. So I was kind of looking through some of the things that we're going to be getting as far as random rewards later on down the line as to which makes the most sense for us to play with. You know, this is going to be a task for handing in of 16 64K storages out of this once again. I think probably this might be marginally cheaper than the regular one. I don't have to look at it. We're kind of looking at some things here real quick because today we're probably going to have to start looking into one of the storage mods that we currently have. So where is... or is it even available? I guess they changed the color of things, so I mean, it just depends on whichever one's probably cheaper, easier to make. So it's just a bunch of calculation, bunch of, you know, it may be another one of those times where we're gonna have to play with something else or figure out what we want to do as far as how this goes. But like, that's, you know, you just make it, you turn it in, you just make it, you turn it in. A lot of this stuff isn't going to be too awfully hard to make. I mean, Golem Orb, I guess we got to figure out how to make one of those. And this, again, we're working on a few things for that. I'm going to have to start seriously banging those out. However, I think we can probably do something with that in the end, possibly. We'll figure out how to make this work. I'm assuming it's just going to be the same old deal. Somehow we've got to get a hold of a division sigil, which I thought you got by killing the dragon, but maybe that's just me in the way old days kind of thing. But yeah, there's a lot of little bitty... push the right button. There's a lot of little bitty things we're going to have to start looking at, to include working through the current level line of challenges that we're on. We have a reasonably good possibility of completing this today, and given what's in this line, I'm probably just going to go ahead and do it. So last time we handed in the drenched iron ingots, we handed in a whole bunch of elementium ingots, and the insightful crystals, we had to use an auto crafting system, and it, well, did the work, handed in the parts, and we're now done with that section. So the only thing left was waiting on a bunch of slimy bees to make a bunch of pink slime so that we could turn in 2 stacks of pink slimy ingots. So we can go ahead and submit that right now, and that is now a creative... I don't know what's going on here. Creative used to be wax, a wax blend cost 1 max for hexery. I don't know how much of this other stuff we're going to be touching as far as actually needing to play with things. So we'll kind of just wander through it as we go. So next step, I've already kind of set it up and got it ready to go. For precision mechanisms, I went ahead finally and set up a little bitty contraption that takes care of the problem. And I know we've spoken about it before. Essentially, all you do is you put in the sheets. So I should have a few sitting here probably. Let me see. Gold sheets. Wrong spot. It's been a little bit. Gold sheets. Yeah. Take a couple of those. If you just take one of those and you put it in here, what this is going to do is it's going to dump it out on the belt. The first little, whatever this thing is called, deployer is going to press down a small cogwheel. The second deployer is going to press down a large cogwheel. The third deployer is going to press down an iron nugget, and then is going to be put into this obsidian barrel. That will provide access to this depot right here, where this arm can then grab it, move it back over here. So we're sorting, and this is kind of what you don't necessarily have to do it this way, but this is how I decided to do it this time. Essentially what you do in here is I'm sorting between a finished one of the precision mechanisms and the not finished one. I should say not finished and finished. So if it finishes, it goes into this brass funnel via the little thing that's right behind that. You can't see there's a filter on that. If it's not finished, it gets put into that brass funnel, which is then put back into that chest and then goes around. So one shouldn't take too long. Except we ran out of the one thing that is stupidly expensive, which is cogwheels. I don't even have any things on me. Do we have any axles? Or, yeah, whatever. Let me, 1 second, we'll finish this. I should have a whole box full of them over here. Yep. That's the only problem with making these things, is they take an ungodly amount of wood. So you go in there and finish the job. And I finished it. They take, I think it's like 3 or 4 or 5 tries to get it done. And there is a very minute chance of it possibly failing. So if you fail, you end up breaking pieces. So you'll end up with parts and pieces back later on that you either have to sort out or you don't. With the way that that works, I have this filtered so that pretty much it will place any of the junk into the system back over here and then just catch it as it goes around. I need to actually move the junk over to this obsidian barrel, so it doesn't really matter. But again, that's one of those things, depending on how much you need to make a bunch of them in Create, is whether or not you need to make some kind of a thing like that, or you can just kind of do it the way you were before. So sleep. Need to keep my bees productive, at least the ones downstairs that need to be productive. Funny, I know. Anyhow, so the next step in here is we're going to be looking at charged stuff. So the stuffed hoglin wasn't terrible to do. We ended up picking up a raw stuffed hoglin in the nether while exploring, and another salad again, just pretty simple, easy couple of things in a bowl. So I crafted that, and if we get back out of here, ratatouille. Ratatouille is just a vegetable, a tomato, an onion, a beetroot, and a bowl in either a heated mixing system or the Farmer's Delight cooking pot with a fire underneath of it. I had a bunch of that made at one point in time. I was eating it for a little bit, but it's kind of a royal pain to make. Gargantuan flux storage. I saved you guys the pain of watching me make this. It's essentially just 6 Herculean flux storages, which are 36 basic flux storages, which is an awful lot, and I mean an awful lot of flux dust and flux cores to be able to make that work. I used all of the obsidian that I had available and had to make enough so that we're actually, it was like, I forget how much obsidian. Thank gosh, I hate to say it, I don't like this idea, but thank goodness this is the recipe, because every piece of obsidian that we put through an enriching factory is 4 pieces of this stuff, which means it then becomes a lot of flux dust. So very, very, very easy to do. Got it all done. I actually made way too much, looks like, as it is. So anyhow, we'll let that roll, finish it up, and it was just a lot of recursive crafting and waiting on stuff to craft. Once again, not anything massive, not anything crazy. A lot of these quests are actually pretty just boring. Sit down, craft a bunch of stuff. Which is why we're getting to this little point right here. Charged Certus Quartz. Charged Certus Quartz means we have an option between 2 different locations or 2 different things. We can jump into Applied Energistics, which is going to require us to do a few things. We're going to have to use a charger in order to be able to use the to make Charged Certus Quartz crystals, which we're going to need to be able to do the on way into Fluix dust. So for Fluix, regardless, is part of your life, regardless of which one of the two mods you use. As far as I can tell, Fluix is going to be part of your life. Now, the other thing too is enriched quartz iron is going to be, well, like I said, right there. That's your basic part of where it's going to be part of your life, as far as anything you want to do with refined storage. So it doesn't really matter which one you pick. I tend to, and I know it's kind of one of those things, I tend to pick AE over refined storage. Just because I like playing with AE, because there are a few things that AE does better than refined storage does. And there are a lot of things that refined storage does better than applied energistics does. As far as the cables, it's not going to hurt me at all to make these things. It never bothers me at all to make these things if I can get them to do what they need to do. We just have to figure out how to make a whole bunch of fluxed covered cables, which covered cables, once again, if you know how to do this, you can do the exact same thing with all the fluid, the Fluix glass cables and things like that, plus the other stuff. The only thing that sucks about applied energistics, I think, over refined storage is if you use their wireless systems to be able to move things around. The refined storage wireless network points, or whatever the heck those things are called, will, I think, use marginal amount less power, I think, and they're a heck of a lot easier to craft, but other than that, it's not any kind of thing. So probably somewhere around here fairly soon, we're going to start integrating and changing integrating a digital storage system, and we're going to be changing the way the base works, at least for a little while. So I do contemplate possibly continuously using this idea, because these are pretty cheap for storage. I mean, you've got, 300 stacks into one of these little blocks like that? I don't know. We'll see. I always tend to use this as it goes, regardless of whether we have functional storage, just because that's the point of a refined storage, or I should say refined storage. Applied energistics, anything that you can store in large bulk form outside of the system, it's better to store it in large bulk form outside of the system. Whereas refined storage, given that you don't have the stack limit thing, it's better just to plug it in wherever. But I like my big walls of stuff that you can see. It's just one of those things I always like. So yeah, anyhow, this is probably all going to change fairly soon, or at least we're going to be messing things around. So to continue, I guess, now that I've prattled on once again, we need to make charge Certus. Charge Certus, which according to this is a charger, or it is a charging thing with a Tesla coil and 10 of these, which we have to craft all of these little parts, which I don't really think they're that hard to do. I would assume this is probably pretty spooky, but I haven't looked at it. Let's see what it does. There's a W. Where's the W? Hit the W. Ponder. Really? Well, of course it is. It's the same thing as, probably applied energy, or IE, the one in that one. Prepare to be shocked. Okay. So that's charging in world. I wonder which one's faster. Does it require using a Tesla coil? I'm assuming it requires some kind of power. I don't know how you would feed this thing. Kinetic stress, low impact. Does it not need for grins? For grins. The reason why I'm saying that, I want to know which one's faster. The charger from Applied Energistics, even if you fill it up full of stuff, is slow, and it's not, you can't make it go any faster. So we need to refigure our thing over here, and I think I can get rid of all of this now, to do that recipe, which means I need a few more of these. Let's get some more of those going. And then we set these probably like this. How does it work? Okay, so that should go boink, boink, boink. And we'll try to get it to finish maybe over here. So where is my ranch? Put everything away already, given the time. There we go. You there, you there, you there, you there. That may work that way. If not, we may have to push it out the top. They're all spinning, so we just need to craft one of these. So it's going to be two capacitors and 3 copper spools, and I should be able to make that because I think everything else is sitting around in our system. So brass sheets off. All right, so the wire goes on top. Boink, boink, boink. This may or may not work. If it fails, it doesn't really matter either way, because it'll reset itself, so you can just reuse the parts. And electron tube, brass sheets, and a thing. So I should have electron tubes. And I am out of andesite alloy. How? At this point, I don't even worry about making it in the mixer. Should craft it. That is so cool. I do love this. It's so neat. Just boom, 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 done. Love it. Okay, so then we need a depot. I'm assuming this takes mechanic. Oh, it does take power. Okay, well, I guess we'll see how this all works. All right, a depot. Depot. I don't know. We might have one of those laying around. Let's look. Where is our boxes? I think it's either this box or that box, and I probably should put some of this stuff away while I'm at it. Do I have a depot still? I have one. All right, so if you're telling me that this is all I need to do, which is I place one of these down and then I place this down like that, and then I grab a flux point. Okay. That was quick. Wow, that was quick. All right. Well, then let's do the other thing real quick. Charger. That thing. It's not like it's that expensive to make one of those. Okay. Charger. And I don't know if this is going to work. Which one's faster? They're about the same. I mean, I'm not out to use it. But I think we'll go ahead and set this one up real quick because all I need to do is just plumb in a couple hoppers, and that one is going to require a little bit of work. Let's go set that up so we can turn that in.
Well, I don't know. I kind of played with both of them. I used this charger to do the first 2 stacks, and then I used that charger to do the second 2 stacks, and I almost feel like this is more consistently converting them over time. So if you needed to make a bunch more of them, or a lot of them in a hurry, or I should say a lot of them in a hurry, this charger is fast, but it's got this silly little RNG thingy in it where occasionally it'll end up with a crystal that takes a little bit more time to charge, which means it kind of screws with the numbers, and then you'll end up with a couple that'll take really short amount of time, and then you'll end up with 3 or 4 that'll take a really long amount of time. So like I said, that was this charger will do them 1 a second, or 1 every 20 ticks. That charger will kind of just do it whatever the heck it feels like. So I guess it is what it is, and we'll probably end up using something like this going forward. So I have to remember that smart chutes can pull out of depots. I just have to remember that is a thing. So, all right, that should allow us to hand in the next line of things. So let's go ahead and hand in the next line. So submit, and submit, and submit, and submit, and submit. And I will take your XP and your antidote vessel. I think I probably have several of those already somewhere. I'm pretty sure I already have at least one of those. But whatever, we'll put that in here. No big deal. Yeah, and I think we only needed 32 of those. Which means we now start working on the next thing. Again, this is going to be probably where we're going to start worrying about this little deal. Signalum ingots, again, super simple, easy to handcraft. Just if you have the parts and the ability to make fire charges, just handcraft them. There's no point in setting up any kind of automation for that. Luminous crystal shards. There are ways of getting these. Mainly, you break down affix items inside a salvaging table, or you spend a little bit of time wandering around the world looking in the various chests that are in both the nether, well, the nether villages and the villages in the overworld, I do believe, have both of them. So that didn't take very long. I've probably got, yeah, quite a few of those. So we need to look at, again, the start of something different. Now, advanced processors are raw advanced processors, which this is not a terrible thing, you know, like that's just that plus this, so you just need a few of those. This is going to be the problem because of the fact we don't have any of these inscriber presses, so that is a smithing table with a piece of paper and a piece of silicon. Silicon is Stardust quartz dust that you smelt. So, is it this one? Awesome. Well, we only have like, I don't know, that much of that. So let's just toss that there and shut your thing off so it doesn't absorb it. Those will show up into the system just ever so slightly. I don't think I have a smithing table. Let me go downstairs. Yes, we do. It's right there. All right, cool. You come with me. I'm assuming this is how we're going to get all of the inscriber presses as well. So we'll put you there. The inscriber press is just a piece of paper and a silicon. How is the rest of them going to be? Certus quartz, diamonds, gold. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and do the whole thing. So, gold. Want two, I just want one. Diamond. Certus is over here because I'm crazy. And silicon. It's paper. Give me all of those. One of those, those, and those. All right. Nice. So then we need to make an inscriber. That one. Right there. 2 sticky pistons and a few things. I suppose I have the ability to make those right now, do I? Nice. And go. Do you work with RF? Looks like it. Alright, you do that. Okay, cool. I'll have to set this up really quickly and get that working. So let me see. We need some more stuff kind of like that. Sure. Let me get something going here real quick. I don't think that helps with that block. Whatever, we've got a minute to work. I will, what do we got to claim? Apparently there's something up here digital we need to work through. Charge Certus quartz. I get 1 Certus quartz crystal. Thank you very much. Fluix crystal. I guess we could make a Fluix crystal. We probably should try to figure that one out while this is busy making some stuff. Charger. Why don't you come right here for right now and do that so that I can make a Fluix crystal or 2. And I need a bucket of water or a bucket of something. Quit picking up your flowers, dingy. Is it redstone? And Fluix. Flux. I just had it at nether quartz. Give me one of those. I don't need a full stack. I just need one, please, just for the minute. Okay, and a bucket. Bucket. Should be some water right there. And we should be able to just, like, do this really quickly. So, that, and a bucket of water. Nice. Awesome. More charged Certus, and then you can go either direction, so glass cable or applied energistics, quartz fiber. We could probably just make some of that stuff right now. Let's get that going. I did get another flower I didn't want. We'll end up doing both probably because there's actually a few things that I will automate using refined storage over applied energistics just because of the functionality of some of the filters. I just find applied energistics a little bit more fun. Again, that's the reason why we're doing everything we can the hard way. All right, that doesn't work, dummy. That does. Yeah, we're going to be a while at that. We need 2 stacks of those. Let's see. Fluix, cabling. Quartz. Fiber. That shouldn't be anything more than that. Yeah, I don't care. Make a stack of it. And use on you is this. Make as many of those as you can. And then we'll probably start pouring that stuff into a hole. And you gave me 4 skystone for some weird reason. Guess I need it for this. Ah, yeah, we need it for that. And energy acceptor. Nice. So, like, as soon as you get one of these going, you can start using the other. I believe you can use the other fancy inscriber. I know that's the way the old mod packs used to be. That the other inscriber, the one from AE2 things, this one requires the AE power instead of regular RF, and this one requires, you know, whatever you can get into it. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but we would have to make a couple of things for it. So I'm again gonna let that craft for a little bit, and then we'll go turn in this next one. And then probably we'll start working, well, not this one, and then probably we'll start working on trying to get some stuff going for this in the next episode, which is going to be fun, because we have to make some things to make this, namely that. So, let me get this done, and then we'll hand it in, and I think we'll call it. 2 stacks of printed silicon goes into making this. So we have 2 I went ahead and made the processor bindings off camera. They're not that hard. So again, 2 stacks of these. 1, 2. Oh, I need to make another stack of that. 1 second. Make another stack. It doesn't take long. Stack and stack. Go. And then those just need to be cooked. How? Can we cook them that way? Bulk smelting? Amazing. That won't take very long at all. Let those finish up. We'll hand those in, and then we'll, work on the next step, which is going to be next episode. So I think what we'll probably do next time is we'll go ahead and start getting into building some kind of a system that will allow us to play with applied energistics. So I will probably go ahead and set up some small automations to produce some Fluix crystals and start banging out a bunch of logic processors, calculation processors, and engineering processors so that we don't have to sit here fool around with it. It's not that terrible hard to do kind of stuff. We're just going to have to set up the magical inscriber kind of stuff. I am going to be very, very, very much missing some logistical stuff that I normally would have at this point. So it's probably going to be that we'll have to do a major automation of applied energistics with that. But this area is going to change. Again, this was supposed to be just the create area, and eventually we were going to be moving out of this. So, great. We've got another chest on 73s around here somewhere. Where are you, my friend? There he is. God, he scared me. Hello, dude. What did we get? Flippers. Not that I need them. But, yeah, we're probably going to start working on trying to remove some of this. This floor was the intended workshop area, so workshop / larger machines, this kind of stuff. So I will probably end up moving the workshop down in this area, either on one of these sides or something like that, because I do really kind of stupidly want to cut a hole in the middle of the base from top to bottom through this center chunk so that we can just fly up and down it should we need to go that way, either way. And I need to actually start working on the walls. I need to sit down one of these days and just get bored and work on the walls. But anyhow, so as soon as that's finished, we'll turn that in and call it. Give me all of it, please. Awesome. Check, submit, and then we go upstairs, grab the parts that we left in the box. Dink, dink, and go, and go. Nice. That's going to get us mending, of which I had already peeled off of some things with that. So we should already have it, but thank you for your nice little book. Next time we're going to work on this, and we're going to start building a applied logistics system that we're going to be able to use to do some stuff, and I'm looking very, very, very much forward to that because, well, it's getting a little tiresome with this thing. So, till then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you all later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.